Hello, and welcome back to the Everyday English Podcast. I am Sarah, and today we are tackling one of the biggest problems we see in our community. We see so many students who are incredibly motivated. They watch videos about people learning English in 30 days, or they hear advice about total immersion, and they get so excited. They buy the books, they download the apps, and they promise themselves they are going to study for 3 hours every single day.
That is right, Sarah. I am Mark, and I see this happen all the time. It starts with so much energy. But then Monday morning comes. You have to go to work, the kids need to go to school, you have to cook dinner, clean the house, and maybe get a little bit of sleep. Suddenly, that 3-hour study session you planned just does not happen. You feel guilty, you feel like you failed, and after a few days of missing your goal, you just stop completely.
Exactly, Mark. It is the classic burnout cycle. The problem isn't your motivation. The problem is your strategy. Most people think that to immerse themselves in English, they need to change their entire life. They think they need to move to an English-speaking country or spend every waking moment with headphones on. But the truth is, consistency is much more powerful than intensity. A small, focused routine that you actually do every day is infinitely better than a massive routine that you quit after 3 days.
So today, we are going to fix this. We are going to give you a specific, concrete plan. It is not a 3-hour plan. It is a 20-minute plan. We call it the 20-minute active listening routine. It is designed specifically for the episodes on this channel, the Everyday English Podcast, and it is designed to fit into your busy life while still guaranteeing that you make progress every single day.
I love this topic, Sarah, because it takes the pressure off. 20 minutes is manageable. Everyone has 20 minutes. You can find 20 minutes before breakfast or on your lunch break or right before bed. But I want to clarify something before we start. When we say 20 minutes, do we just mean listening to a podcast while scrolling through social media?
Absolutely not. That is a great point, Mark. There is a huge difference between passive listening and active listening. Passive listening is what you do when you are washing the dishes or driving. The audio is playing, but your brain is thinking about your grocery list or your meeting at work. Passive listening is useful, and we will talk later about how to fit that in, but it does not count towards your 20 minutes. This 20-minute routine is active study. It means you are focused, you are paying attention, and you are treating the podcast like a lesson, not just background noise.
Okay, so we need 20 minutes of focus. No multitasking, just you and the English language. Let's break this down step by step. Imagine I am a student. I have my coffee, I have my headphones, and I am ready to start my day. I have opened up the Everyday English Podcast channel. What is the first thing I do?
The first thing you do is choose a short lesson episode. On our channel, we have 2 types of episodes. We have the long 1-hour deep dives, and we have the shorter 20-minute lessons. For this active routine, you want one of the short lessons. Pick a topic that interests you. Maybe it is about job interviews, or maybe it's about healthy living. It does not matter, as long as you are interested. Now, look at the time. The first 5 minutes of your routine is what we call the gist run.
The gist run. I like the sound of that. What exactly am I doing during these first 5 minutes?
During the first 5 minutes, you are going to listen to the main story or the conversation of the episode all the way through without stopping. This is the golden rule of the gist run. Do not press pause.
That sounds terrifying for a lot of learners, Sarah. The instinct when you hear a word you don't know is to immediately hit pause and look it up in the dictionary. You're saying we should not do that?
Do not do it. Fight the urge. Here's why. In real life, conversations don't have a pause button. If you are talking to a colleague or a cashier, you can't freeze time to look up a word. You have to keep listening. You have to use the context to figure out what is happening. The gist run trains your brain to be comfortable with uncertainty. You are not trying to understand 100% of the words. You are just trying to understand the gist, the main idea. Who are the people? Are they happy or sad? What is the general topic?
I see. So it is about training your ear to flow with the language. It is about rhythm and tone. If I miss a word, I just let it go and catch the next one. It's almost like watching a movie. If you miss one line of dialogue, you still know what is happening in the scene because you see the action. In a podcast, you hear the tone of voice.
Exactly. And because our episodes are designed with slow, clear English, this is much easier to do than with a native speed movie. We speak clearly so you have time to process. So, for the first 5 minutes, you just listen. You can close your eyes if it helps, just let the English wash over you, and try to build a mental picture of the story.
Okay, so I have done my gist run. I have listened to the story once. I have a general idea of what happened. I feel good, but I definitely missed some words. I heard some grammar structures that I did not quite understand. What happens next? We are at minute 5 now.
Now we move into the second phase, which takes about 10 minutes. This is from minute 5 to minute 15. We call this the micro dive. This is where you switch from a listener to a student. You go back to the start of the video, but this time you are allowed to pause. In fact, you should pause. But here is the trick, Mark. Do not try to learn everything.
This is such important advice. I think this is where so many students get stuck. They try to analyze every single sentence, they write down every single new word, and by the time they finish 5 minutes of audio, they have a list of 50 vocabulary words, and they are exhausted. They never want to study again because it feels like too much work.
Right, it is overwhelming and ineffective. Your brain cannot retain 50 new words in one day. So in the microdive, I want you to be selective. Your goal is to find just 3 new words or phrases. That is it, just 3. Listen to the reading style explanations we provide in the video. We break down the difficult parts for you. When you hear us explain a word you did not know, ask yourself, is this useful for me? Will I use this in my daily life?
I love that filter. Is this useful for me? If the story is about space travel and the word is asteroid, but you are an accountant, maybe you don't need to memorize asteroid today. But if the phrase is run out of time, well, everyone runs out of time. That is a high-value phrase.
Exactly. So write down your 3 words, but don't just write the translation. Write the sentence from the story where you heard it. Context is everything. In our episodes, we teach grammar in context, so you will see how the words fit together. Spend these 10 minutes really looking at the sentences. Look at how the grammar changes the meaning. Maybe you notice that the speaker used have been doing instead of did. Why? Listen to the explanation in the video.
So we are analyzing, but we are keeping it small. We are looking for quality over quantity. We are identifying patterns. This reminds me of what we saw in that video about improving listening in 30 days. The key was shifting focus from isolated words to patterns. When you listen to the explanation section of our podcast, you are literally having those patterns pointed out to you. You don't have to guess. We tell you, hey, notice how the voice goes up here, or notice how these 2 words blend together.
That is right. And since you are watching the video version, you can often see the text or the key words on the screen, which helps connect the sound to the spelling. So you spend 10 minutes doing this detailed work, you have your 3 new words, you have understood 1 or 2 new grammar points, you feel much more confident about the text. Now we have 5 minutes left in our 20-minute routine.
Okay, minutes 15 to 20. We have listened for the gist, we have analyzed the details. What is left?
Now we have to activate your muscles. The last 5 minutes are the shadow sprint. This is where you speak. You can't learn a language just by letting it enter your ears. It has to come out of your mouth. In every Everyday English podcast episode, we have speaking prompts or sections where we repeat key phrases. This is your time to shine.
Shadowing is such a powerful technique, but I think people are sometimes shy about doing it. Can you explain exactly what shadowing looks like in this routine? Do I wait for the speaker to finish and then repeat?
You can do it that way, yes. We call that listen and repeat. We often leave little gaps in our lessons for you to do exactly that. But true shadowing is even more active. You try to speak at the exact same time as the speaker. You match their speed, their rhythm, and their intonation. It is like singing along to a song. You don't wait for the singer to finish the line, you sing with them.
That is a great comparison. It really is like singing. And the reason this works is that it forces you to use the correct mouth position. English has physical sounds that might not exist in your native language. If you only listen, your mouth muscles never get the workout. When you shadow, you might stumble, your tongue might get tied. That is good. That means you are finding the weak spots in your pronunciation.
Exactly. And because our podcast is in slow, clear English, you actually have a chance to keep up. If you tried to shadow a fast news report, you would get frustrated. But with us, you can match the pace. So for these last 5 minutes, go back to the parts of the story you found interesting or the sentences with your new vocabulary and say them out loud, over and over, loud and proud. If you're on the bus and you can't shout, just mouth the words silently. It still helps train the muscles.
So that is it. That is the 20-minute routine. 0 to 5 minutes, the gist run, listen without stopping. 5 to 15 minutes, the micro dive, analyze and pick 3 words. 15 to 20 minutes, the shadow sprint, speak along with the audio. It sounds so simple, but if you actually did this every day for a month, the results would be incredible. The consistency is the magic key. Think about it. If you learn 3 words a day, that is roughly 90 words a month. But they are not just words on a list. They are words you have heard in a story, analyzed in context, and spoken out loud with your own voice. Those words are locked in. You own them now. And you have also practiced 20 minutes of pure listening and speaking. That builds confidence faster than any textbook. Now, Sarah, I want to loop back to something we mentioned at the beginning. We talked about passive listening. We said that washing dishes or driving while listening doesn't count towards the 20 minutes. But does that mean we shouldn't do it? Because our channel also has these long 1-hour episodes. How did those fit in?
I am so glad you brought that up. Passive listening is the perfect partner to active listening. Think of the active routine as your workout and passive listening as your healthy diet. You need both. Once you have finished your 20-minute focus session, your brain is primed. It is awake. It is alert to English. Now you can go about your day. When you get in the car to drive to work, or when you start folding laundry, that is when you put on one of our long deep dive episodes.
And this is where the magic happens. Because you have already done your focused work, the pressure is off. You do not need to analyze, you do not need to pause, you can just enjoy the conversation. Our long episodes feel like a friendly radio show. We talk about work, money, relationships, travel. It is real life. And because you are relaxed, your brain will naturally start to pick up things. You will hear a word and think, hey, I studied that last week.
It is reinforcement, and it is also immersion. This is how you get that immersion experience without moving to London or New York. You surround yourself with the sound of the language. Even if you only catch 50% of what we are saying in the long episodes, that is fine. You are getting used to the rhythm of English. You are training your brain that English is a normal part of your environment, not just a scary subject you study at a desk.
I also want to mention something for the students out there preparing for exams. We know a lot of you are studying for IELTS or TOEFL. You might think, this routine sounds nice, but I need to do practice tests. Actually, this routine is the best exam preparation you can do. The IELTS listening test, especially sections 1 and 2, is all about understanding everyday conversations and monologues. By training your ear to hear the gist and catch specific details in our stories, you are practicing the exact skills you need for the test.
That is absolutely true. Exams are testing your ability to understand communication. Our podcast provides the communication, and we often include exam-style tasks or questions in our episodes to keep you sharp. But doing it this way, through stories and interesting topics, keeps you from getting bored. You are learning about the world while you prepare for your test.
So, Mark, let's summarize why this works. It solves the problem of I don't have time because it is only 20 minutes. It solves the problem of I don't understand fast English because we use slow, clear speech. And it solves the problem of I can't speak because we include shadowing. It covers all the bases.
It really does. And the best part is, you can start today. You do not need to buy anything, you do not need to sign up for a course, you just need to go to our channel page. We have playlists organized for you. You can find the short lessons playlist for your morning routine and the long deep dive playlist for your commute.
And speaking of starting today, I have a challenge for everyone listening. Do not just listen to us talk about this routine. Try it. Tomorrow morning, set your alarm 20 minutes earlier, or take 20 minutes of your lunch break. Pick one video, just one, and follow the steps. Listen for the gist, pick 3 words, shadow the audio.
And then come back and tell us how it felt. Did you notice a difference in your focus? Did you feel less stressed than usual? We want to know. Writing down your experience is also a great way to practice your writing skills. You can leave a comment on the video you used.
That is a great idea. Treat the comment section like your accountability journal. If you commit to doing this for just 7 days, I promise you will feel a shift. You will stop translating every word in your head and start thinking in English. You will stop fearing the language and start enjoying it.
And remember, language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. But you run a marathon one step at a time. This 20-minute routine is your daily step. It keeps you moving forward, even on the busy days, even on the tired days.
We are here to help you take those steps. We create these episodes because we believe that everyone deserves to live their life in English, not just study it. We talk about the things that matter to you, your job, your health, your money, your relationships, because that is what real English is for. It is for connecting with people. So, thank you for listening to this strategy session. We hope it gives you a new perspective on how to use our content. Do not let the English language overwhelm you. Take control of it. 20 minutes a day. You can do this. Yes, you really can. Go check out the short lessons playlist right now. Pick a topic that looks fun. Maybe the one about coffee culture or the one about job interview mistakes. Hit play, put your phone away, and give yourself the gift of 20 minutes of focus. We will see you in the next episode for some more slow, clear, and practical English. Until then, happy listening and keep practicing. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Wait, Mark, before we go, I just thought of one more thing we should clarify. We talked about choosing the short lessons for the active routine, but what if someone is a beginner? What if even the short lessons feel a little too difficult?
That is a very valid question, Sarah. It can be discouraging if you try the gist run and you feel like you understood absolutely nothing. If you are a beginner, or if you are returning to English after a long break, you can modify the routine slightly.
Right. Instead of doing the full 5-minute gist run, maybe you just listen to the first 1 or 2 minutes. Break the video into smaller chunks. The 20-minute time limit stays the same, but you cover less material. That is completely okay.
Absolutely. It is better to deeply understand 2 minutes of audio than to get lost in 10 minutes. The rules are the same. Listen, analyze, shadow. Just adjust the volume of content to match your current level. Our slow English is designed to be accessible, but everyone starts at a different place.
And also, do not forget to use the visual aids. Since this is a video podcast, we put the keywords on the screen. If you are struggling to hear the word, look at the screen. Read along for a moment if you need to. The goal is to eventually rely only on your ears, but using your eyes as a crutch in the beginning is a smart strategy.
Yes, use every tool you have. The subtitles, the on-screen text, the playback speed settings on YouTube. If even our slow English is too fast, you can slow it down to 0.75x speed. Then, as you get better, speed it back up to normal.
That is the beauty of YouTube as a learning platform. You are in control. You are the pilot. We provide the fuel, the stories, and the explanations, but you fly the plane.
I like that analogy. And for the advanced learners, the ones who find the slow English a bit too easy?
For them, the challenge is in the shadow sprint. Can you match our intonation perfectly? Can you copy the exact emotion in our voices? And for the deep dive listening, try listening at 1.25x speed. Challenge your brain to process faster.
Exactly. This routine scales with you. Whether you are A2 or C1 level, the process of active listening remains the same. The content just gets deeper or faster or more complex.
One more thing about the 3 words rule. I know some people love to use flashcard apps like Anki or Quizlet. This routine fits perfectly with that. Those 3 words you pick during the microdive, put them into your flashcard immediately.
Yes, do not just write them on a piece of scrap paper that you will throw away. Put them somewhere permanent. If you add 3 words a day to your app, by the end of the year, you have over 1,000 words that you have personally curated from context. That is a massive vocabulary boost.
And because you learned them from a story, you will remember them. You will see the word salary and you will remember the episode about negotiating a pay raise. You will hear the context in your head. That is much stronger than just memorizing a list from a textbook.
It ties the language to a memory. That is how our brains work. We remember stories, not data. That is why we focus so much on storytelling in the Everyday English podcast. We want to give you memories, not just data.
So no more excuses. You have the plan, you have the tools, you have the content. All that is left is the action.
And we know you can do it. Our community is full of people just like you, busy, ambitious, and ready to learn. Join them. Start your routine.
All right, now we are really finished. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We genuinely appreciate every single one of you who listens, comments, and shares our videos. You make this channel possible.
See you in the next lesson. Remember, clear explanations, real conversations, everyday life.
Take care.
Bye.
Actually, Sarah, one very final tip for the shadow sprint section. I know we said to speak out loud, but what if someone is in a library or a quiet office?
Oh, good point. If you absolutely cannot make noise, you can do what we call silent mouthing. You move your lips and tongue exactly as if you were shouting, but you don't make a sound. It looks a little funny, so maybe don't do it while your boss is looking at you. But it works. It builds the muscle memory. It trains your tongue to move from the th sound to the s sound without stumbling. It is physically tiring for your mouth, which means it's working.
It's like air guitar, but for English. Air speaking.
I love it. Air speaking. Let's make that a thing. Okay, seriously now, go practice your air speaking. See you next time.
Bye.